Hey, everybody, welcome back to Star Wars Junk. We got a special guest with you, too. Mark Cannell. I said it right that time?
Mark O'Connell, like Chris.
O'Connell. I said it wrong the first time.
Yeah.
I'll get it right by the end of it.
Cool.
Anyway, he's the author of Watching Skies, a new book. Now, I'll be honest with you. I haven't had a chance to look at it. I know the publisher sent over a copy, but it was last minute. So, but I skimmed through it and just looking at the index, the chapters list. I think a lot of people out there watching my videos and follow me on Twitter is gonna love this book. I mean, I saw Raiders of the Lost Ark. I saw stuff about Spielberg, Jaws, of course, the Star Wars toys, Close Encounters. I'm guessing you grew up probably at that same time, right around that turning point.
Yeah, I was actually born while Jaws was still in the US box office charts, so I like the poetry of that. So I was born in '75. I was way too young to see New Hope at the movie theaters first time round, and the same for Empire Strikes Back as well. So Jedi was my first big screen movie moment. So I am that era. I'm maybe just slightly few years behind a lot of you guys who managed to queue and see it back in the day. But yeah, I'm very much a Star Wars kid, very much so.
Okay, yeah, I was like 5 when the first one came out, but by Empire I remember Empire. But well, let's talk this debate before we get into your book.
Yeah. Cool.
What's better, the Kenner Death Star or the Palatoy's Death Star?
Oh, I'm going to say Kenner because I'm talking to Mr. Kenner here. So I'm going to my bets and keep him with the host. Well, I had neither, so it was both were quite disappointing for me. My friend had the British Palatoy one. But I maybe do like the Palatoy one. That the design of it's very cool. And yeah, but the Kenner one, I still like the Kenner logo on anything. I think it's a cool little piece of retro history. Yeah,
I agree with that. It always a part. I mean, growing up in the U.S., it was always a part. And it seemed like every toy line was Kenner. At least there in the early '80s, everything was Kenner.
Yeah. It always confused us because we had Palatoy. And we were like, why is it not Kenner? And sometimes some of the figures would have the Kenner stamp on the back of the legs.
Right.
Why? What is it? Is it Kenner? Is it Palatoy? But yeah, it was always Palatoy that we kept our eyes on like the Christmas and birthday presents, because the wrapping paper was always really thin back in the '80s. So if we could see the Palatoy logo peeking through, we knew we were in for a good ride.
Right. I didn't even know about Palatoys. I mean, I didn't even, everything I had Kenner on it, and when you're a kid, you forget about the whole rest of the world.
Yes.
You just see Kenner. But I started putting on Twitter, hey, the best playset ever, and I was talking about the Death Star, and people were like, hold on now. That Palatoy one's pretty cool too, but I'm partial to the Kenner one just because it's so tall. But I didn't even know about the other one, like you said, until the '90s, and I started collecting the stuff.
Yeah, well, my friend, he's still got the Palatoy cardboard one, the sort of sphere or half sphere, but he's just realised it might be in his attic that's got a leak, and he's too afraid to go up and check. I'm like, oh, no, don't check, or maybe you should check, maybe, yeah. So Alex, watching, go and check on that Death Star. It might be saved.
Yeah, and then that heat in the attic with that cardboard. I don't know. He might regret looking.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just remember what you had, not what you might have just lost.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about your book. I know, I've kind of looked at a little bit about it. It says that you didn't want to be Luke Skywalker, that you wanted to be the kids in the commercial. Yeah,
I always wanted to be one of the kids on the box or the commercial, and particularly the American commercials, which would sometimes play over on British TV. They dub them really badly. They still do that now. They dub American commercials. We can see what you're doing. So I wanted to be one of the cool kids because they had the big, what I call the Spielberg hair, the big mop of hair, and that's what I had. So I thought I could maybe do this, but yeah, I was in a completely different country, and I wasn't American, and I had bad teeth even then. So I wasn't going to be the Kenner poster boy, but I wanted to be the kid on the box more than the figure inside it.
Well, I don't know. There's not many kids on these boxes.
Yeah. I mean, there's probably a documentary about all the kids. They probably became meth heads, and it all went really wrong, and the fame took them over, and they're in Betty Ford sort of mopping their Kenner plastic tears right now.
Yeah, I'm always curious, what happened to them, and I can't really find any information on who they were.
Oh, it'd be cool. It'd be brilliant to find at least one or two of them. Yeah, that maybe should be a thing. Just they must know what they did.
Yeah, there is actually on one of the old, I think it's Return of the Jedi commercials. Christian Slater's on there.
Oh, is he? Did he do?
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, yeah, because you recognize him because he was almost a child star. Yeah.
Yeah, because this is probably about 5 years before he really started, you know.
Yeah.
Being a household name. So it was kind of interesting to see. And I think who's the other guy from Silver Spoons back in the 80s? I think he did one before he was on.
Right. Okay. So there is some of them. Right.
Yeah, there's at least 2 that kind of went on. But I'm curious if they're just Kenner employees' kids or if they were actually models. But they look like they're having the time of their life, especially on them boxes.
Oh yeah, and they always had really good furniture as well. Like I say in the book, like pine furniture. It was like everything looked great. And also I remember the figures on one of the commercials flying through all these glass tumblers. You know, like these glasses your grandmother would have. And I thought, no, we wouldn't be allowed to fly our toys in between grandma's crystal collection.
Yeah, they never got in trouble, never got yelled at for anything they did.
Yeah. But yes, but the book is very much for that generation of kids that had those toys, that would live for those toys, that would scour the catalogs that the department stores had. Over here we had we still got it, a big, it's like an immediate store called Argos where you give what code you want and they'll bring the article out for you. I don't know what the equivalent is over where you are. And the Argos catalogue, the Christmas Argos catalogue, that was a big thing to get that and to circle what you wanted for Christmas from the Palatoy Star Wars range and hope that it wasn't too expensive for your parents because they weren't cheap even then. And yeah, I remember that Christmas morning, '84, coming down and just seeing that's a Millennium Falcon sized box. I was like, that is definitely the thing, the one.
Yeah, we had a Sears wish book, and we had a different one, but that was the one to go to where you circled everything and cross your fingers and hoping at Christmas time you'll get something. Yeah,
and I'd always get some really kind-hearted family member who would buy me something, but like, yeah, that's one of the rubbish ships. That's one of the not the micro machines, but those ones that came out, the sort of more affordable range ones that came out. And just like, oh, I wanted the snow speeder. I still want a snow speeder. I never got the snow speeder.
You need to go ahead and get you one. Go on eBay and
I should. Yeah. I want it to be battered and have some history to it. It has to look as old and ragged as I do sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes it's good to get those beat-it up figures that look they've been played with, got some history to them.
Absolutely. Yeah, I said this to someone yesterday that the history of these toys, the batteredness, the fact that we lost the X-wing cannon rifles. I'd only got one left on one of my ships, and the little guns would be lost immediately up the vacuum cleaner, or the dog would scoop them up, or I always think in like hundreds, thousands of years' time, they're going to be these like archaeologists wondering why they're finding all these little tiny Ewok spears in backyards, and it's going to sort of really, really confuse man's history of itself.
Right. Yeah. Got a lot buried at my old house in the backyard. I'm sure somebody will dig up one day.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I see you got these Star Wars lunchbox back there, and I carried that one in the first or second grade, and I've been wanting to get back into collecting lunchboxes.
Yeah, that was a gift I was given last summer by a great San Francisco friend, and he's a little bit older than me, and he's got a whole house full of these vintage lunchboxes, like really beautiful. And he said, do you want it? And I'm like, no, but I said, yeah, I'll look after it. So I had Peanuts, Snoopy, which isn't not as cool as having the Star Wars one. So
sorry, it's not.
40 years later, I get the proper Star Wars one.
Yeah, I mean they're really art to them. Those metal old lunch boxes.
Yeah, no, they're in good condition as well. I mean, what's this? nearly 42 years old now. I don't have the flask. The flask never came with it. I just hope, bit rusty inside, but who isn't? And they're good. They're perfect size, and they're just sort of. There's Americana as like yellow school buses.
Right. Yeah. I guess y'all don't have yellow school buses there.
No. We barely have white ones or any color ones. No. Get on the bus on your own. Yeah. No.
Okay. Yeah, but I've got my Temple of Doom lunchbox, and it's still when I open it, that smell still hits me, and it takes me back. Yeah,
it's the smell. That resin smell of the figures. Yeah. Well, I trying to explain that. Like, I don't know if you get like something for the kitchen, like a new potato peeler or an ice tray or something, and you smell it, that smells of Ewoks or 83 toys, and people are like, what are you doing? I'm like, no, there's a smell there. It's weird how smells can be as nostalgic as like a lunchbox.
Yeah, as I said, it takes me back every time I open it up. It takes me back to second, third grade, standing in the kitchen in the lunchroom.
Yeah.
So tell me about you. But like I said, I'm sorry I hadn't get a chance to really read over it. I looked over it, but it was the end of the week before I got a copy of it.
That's cool. That's fine. It's called Watching Skies, Star Wars, Spielberg and Us, and it's about being a kid from that generation. I don't want to say it's my memoir because that's a bit arrogant and brash, and it isn't. It's everyone's memoir. It's everyone's recollections of being that 9-year-old kid and wanting the Star Wars figure and hoping that the video store will have their one copy of The Empire Strikes Back still on the shelves. I don't know about you, but we had to like book our videos. We had to like go in and say, can I have Return of the Jedi on Saturday? And you hoped that it would be returned in time. So it's about being from that generation. My parents, they went to the movies, but my generation, which I include you in, the movies came to us, whether it was through the toys, the posters, the bedspreads, the lunch boxes, and so it's looking at that, but it's also the book's also looking at how those films work. We know Raiders is a great film. We know Jaws changed the blockbuster. We know Star Wars changed everything. But why? What did they do? What did they get right? And each film, E.T., Close Encounters, Jaws, they all did something a little different. They all contributed differently. So it's going back and looking at that as well. But in a time frame that's about 75 to 84. It's not a big window of cinema, but it's an era that let in, as I say, a hell of a lot of movie light. But we also look at new Star Wars, the prequels, the new era of Star Wars that we're in now, because that is also, the fact we've got Star Wars films and that nostalgia now is because these toys and the movies implanted themselves in our heads and in future filmmakers' heads. So that's what the book's trying to sort of do.
Okay, yeah. I mean, like people tell me, hey, it's just a movie, but I was like, no. If you didn't grow up in that time, or maybe you don't know, it was a lot. I know people that had toys that didn't even see the movie or didn't even care about the movie, but they wanted the toys to play with.
Yeah, because there was like social currency to that. That was like you had to have something. I remember like going sleepovers at the weekend. It's like, well, what are you bringing? You bringing the X-Wing? Well, we've got 3 X-Wings already. If you can bring an AT-AT, then you can stay over. It's like sort of social currency.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I guess my father probably had baseball cards, and we were swapping out the Star Wars figures.
Yeah. It was a. They aren't just films. I don't think they're just movies at all. Star Wars. It changed modern effects cinema and fantasy cinema, but it also changed how films were marketed, what time of year the films were played in movie theaters, and Star Wars, Jaws, E.T., they're not just big movies of the 70s. They're key moments of popular culture in the whole century, I think. That's what the book thinks as well. Yeah,
I mean, it really, that 70s and 80s really shaped what we have today, that geek pop culture. Yes. We wouldn't have it all if it wasn't for that Star Wars and Jaws and E.T. and Gremlins and all that stuff that really started it.
There's not many 2001 Space Odyssey fans. I don't see many sort of 2001 bubble bath sets. It was like a plastic revolution. That 3 3/4 figure revolution just changed everything. Changed merchandising as well. How toys were marketed and made. Whether they were movie based or not.
Yeah, and it's like I got a 12-year-old son. He plays with them for maybe 10 minutes, but I think that was our day. That was our Saturday.
I know. I noticed with Solo particularly, there's not been so many figures on the shelves. But that's not always where kids today are from. They're coming from the Lego and the Xbox Lego games and all of that. And I say I don't care if you're a Star Wars fan. Great. I don't care how you became one. It doesn't matter. There's no wrong way in. The fact you are one, that's all that matters. Right.
Yeah. They're more video game oriented, I think, and internet and stuff than we were. We didn't have internet. We couldn't waste our time. I mean, like you said, it was hard. It was hard to even get a VCR copy, a VHS copy of the movie.
We didn't see posters unless we went to the movie theater and hoped there'd be some in the lobby. you know, like a poster for Return of the Jedi, I didn't see till I went probably to the cinema to see the film. But could you imagine that now, where they don't reveal the poster or the trailer, apart from in movie theaters? And it's weird though that all this '80s, the '80s generation that we didn't have YouTube, we didn't have Netflix, we didn't have Instagram or Twitter, but they're all the things that are keeping that '80s culture going and pinging it about. So it's curious how new technology is keeping an era or a decade going.
Yeah, that's true. And like, I want to see Jedi, I think, and I didn't. Well, before I saw Jedi, I never even saw a trailer. I want to see something else, and I didn't even know a trailer was out, and it was on the screen. So that it's a whole different way now. I mean, by the time the trailer comes out, people's already know what the movie's about, when it's coming out, and everything.
Yeah, it's really hard. I was thinking maybe for episode 9, I might try and avoid everything. Even as I say that, I know I'm not going to. Maybe Indiana Jones 5, I might just try and make that the one I go to, sort of box fresh. But it's hard anyway, especially, you know, where everything's trending and viral. It all just gets shared about.
Yeah, it's hard. I like Solo. So I'm not going to watch any more TV spots. And then next thing I know, somebody says something about one. I said, well, I got to check it out. And,
oh yeah, there's a new clip or there's a different take on that. I'm like, oh, I'll just check it. Yeah, it's difficult. Yeah, it's hard.
And it's so in your face now too. You can't. I don't see how you cannot avoid it, even if you want to.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, exactly. And it's a different era. It's different way of presenting movies as well. You know, because there's more of them. They're all trying for attention. Yeah,
and I hate a lot different. I mean, I don't want to sound like that old guy saying back in my day, but
yeah,
it seems like when you saw a movie, you loved that movie for a year or so, and now it seems like, okay, I went to the movies, and now what's the next one?
Yeah, it's like, you know, Last Jedi and Force Awakens came out 2 or 3 months after theater release, but in the UK it was like a year before it would come out on rental VHS, and then maybe 2 or 3 years after that before you could buy your own VHS copy, and that would be like £80, you know, sort of a lot of money for back then, even for now. But now the movies come out two months later, which, you know, partly perhaps tripped Solo up, I think, because Jedi, we were still in that post-Jedi or Last Jedi come down, and then suddenly a new film comes out, and we're like, oh, okay, right, another one, right.
Right, you need to long for it a little bit.
Yeah, I always think Star Wars should feel like we haven't had Christmas for 3 years. It shouldn't just be another public holiday. And maybe Solo will learn. We'll see.
Yeah, I like Solo, but I think they'll learn some stuff from it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, how long did it take you to write this book?
About a year. Yeah.
About a year.
Yeah, about a year. I pitched it to the History Press, the publishers, in sort of January 2016. They said yes very immediately and very kindly. And then I spent a little while just trying to work out what it is, because I wanted it to be different from what I've done before. And then the hardest bit was actually picking what I'll leave out. You know, like, I really want to do that film, and I really should do that film, but no, I'm gonna have to leave. So it's like all things. It's what you left to the side was the hardest bit. So, but about a year, and then we had a good period of getting the cover right and getting the contents right and how it looked inside. So yeah, a year writing it, and then a year post-production, I suppose. Very Star Wars.
Okay, well, not as long as I would have thought. So is it mostly your memories of the stuff, or is it? Yeah,
no, it's sort of my memories, but I'm trying to make. It's very much, I say, it comes from the frozen planet of Britain, so it's bound with our memories and what we had, and the little TV slots that we might just find, the shows that would maybe have an interview with Mark Hamill, which was like as rare as hen's teeth. You know, that did not happen. And like the TV we had. I mean, it was an era where American TV and movies were our lives. Yes, we had our British TV shows, particularly kids shows, and they were great as well. But we had this is Watching Skies is for everyone that grew up with the A-Team, the Red Hand Gang. Do you remember that one? Yeah, Knight Rider, Airwolf, all those key shows that just kept feeding our love of American movies that Star Wars and E.T. kicked off. So even though we were British kids in the 80s, we had quite an American childhood. I always say it's like my mother and my parents' generation in the 50s. They had sort of American music and American movies. And then a few decades later, that's what we had. So we had quite an American childhood, even though we were in freezing cold Britain and saw the sun for 2 hours a year.
Yeah, and I don't think we had anything but now I'm drawing a blank on it. The pythons. I think it's about the only thing I knew from over there. And then I fell in love with Blake 7. I don't know if you remember that one.
Yes. Yeah. I was a little young, but we're all very aware of it. That's an interesting show. In fact, they shot one episode at my local shopping mall before it opened because it looked like some horrible future world of sort of Orwell 1984. And in fact, if you go to the shopping mall right now, it still looks the same.
Yeah, and that's about all shopping malls around here now.
Yeah. Because we had like sci-fi things like escalators. We didn't have escalators until the shopping malls got them. And Blake 7 shot at our local one for one episode.
Really?
So I was aware of Blake 7, yeah, big time.
Yeah, we didn't get it over here until like the 90s, and only for like a year or two, some small channels would show it, and I fell in love with it then. It was a really good written show.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what everyone still says now, and maybe they'll try and bring it back. Not that they should. It doesn't have to come back just because it was good years ago. But I feel there's scope for Blake 7 to come back on British TV and work its way around the globe.
Yeah, I just want more people to know about it because every time I did a whole video on my YouTube.
Oh, great.
Nobody knew about it. I went through every season, and people was like, I never heard of this show. I said, well, check it out. Because we all know Doctor Who over here, but a lot of people just forget Blake 7.
Yeah, Blake 7. I think it was because it was quite talky. It was quite a sort of cerebral show. But yeah, it's a big Blake 7 movement still to this day. Yeah,
no, that's good. That's one thing about your book I wanted to know I want to read it is, but I've always had, the U.S. take on all this stuff. Every book I've read has been mostly how it was over here. And I grew up over here, so I know, but it's always interesting to see the other countries, how they took in Star Wars, especially the merchandise, the toys and things.
Yeah, it was everywhere. It was like, like the flasks, the drinks flasks, the T-shirts. And I don't know why, I do know why, because the films were so good. The films sort of were great, and they hung about as well. They didn't have their short run like we have on movies now. You'd still be able to see Star Wars 2 or 3 years later. Also, it's assumed a lot of British audiences think, yeah, I saw New Hope, I queued in summer '77 at my local UK cinema. No, you didn't. It didn't come out here till Christmas '77. And then really nationwide till January '78. So that's like 7-month gap. Could you imagine telling some Star Wars fans in another country you're going to have to wait 7 months, okay? You're gonna just be good, suck it up, be good. But we had... no, sorry, I've gone blank now.
It happens, but yeah, I mean, they were, I think, Star Wars got re-released before Empire, and then it got released after Empire, and then it was in the theater for about a year or more, at least around here. So,
well, we had a lot of TV shows that would go behind the scenes of the film at the studios because the Elstree, it was a British studios, and also all our kids' TV shows were often shot at Elstree. So you'd suddenly have like Luke Skywalker and the whole cast coming into like a show. We got a show still going called Blue Peter, which is quite a wholesome kids studio show. And just to see like R2-D2 come across the white studio floor in Blue Peter was like a massive thing. But we did have a little British connection to Star Wars because of Elstree and Richard Marquand and the British cast. There was a lot of Brits in it, so we had that. We were slightly lucky there. We felt some involvement,
right?
But the fact it was American as well, that gave it greater interest to us. Had it been British or European and as great. If the movies had been as great, we might not have loved them as much, if that makes sense. I think that the fact it was American product, in that era of space shuttles and Atari and even Reagan and the politics, I think the 80s is a very American decade, whatever country you lived in.
Yeah. Like I said, it's always interesting to see how other people take a look at it.
Yeah.
Where's the best place to get it? Is it on Amazon, your book?
It's on Amazon, yeah. It's released this month in the UK, but we're coming out in the US in September. So it'll be on US Amazon and all the places over there. And we're just trying to sort of get some American word out at the moment. Hence talking to you guys and good Star Wars American fans. So yeah, I don't know if Kindle doesn't have any borders. Maybe it does, but it's available. It is available on UK Amazon right now, but September for America.
Okay, well, I'll put a link out to that one, and then in September, if you hopefully I'll put another link out and maybe get, because like I said, I think, you know, I put something on my website that I was going to talk to you and just put the cover of your book, and everybody was like, what is this book? Tell me more about it. I think there's really right now is a good time. I think you released this at a good time where everybody's kind of wanting to go back and they want to read these books, kind of like the Spielberg movie that just came out, you know, Ready Player One. There's really a market right now for that nostalgia.
Yeah, no, it's like with Stranger Things as well. Yeah. And I remember saying to the guy who did the design of the cover, I said, just make it 80s, but don't make it 80s. Make it Stranger Things, but don't make it Stranger Things. And he was like, what am I going to do? Yes, and I wanted it to be universal. It's as much about American childhoods as it is British childhoods, because we all had those movies as our babysitters, our siblings. I'm an only child, so these films felt like cousins or friends that would stay over for the weekend, because I would just watch them over and over. So the book looks at the societal sort of childhood history of it as well.
Okay, yeah, that's good. Well, I'm not gonna keep you. I know we kind of did this last minute, so
that's all right.
I think we got a lot of information. Is there anything else you want to add though to let people know about?
Well, I'm on Twitter, Mark O'Connell, although the O is a 0. My website is markoconnell.co.uk. Watching Skies has got a great Facebook page, which is getting a lot of momentum at the moment. That's where I put a lot of photos and sort of insights and new things. So I'm out there. Yeah, do come and say hi. I want to hear other people's movie memories. I want to know that I wasn't the only strange kid racing with that plastic toy. That's why it's good to find you, because I do really like to do with the Kenner stuff. That's right up my Star Wars alley, or Star Wars trench maybe.
Yeah, yeah. Believe me, you're not the only one. I mean, there's a lot of people out there, and they're still playing with them today.
Yeah, and so they should, and they should be taken out of the box, and they should be ruined and scratched, because, like you said, that shows they've had a life. But maybe buy one, but keep one in the box just for the insurance, for the retirement fund, maybe.
Yeah, it's always fun to have one just to play. I was like, I've gotten the AT-AT. My son plays with it just because I've got it, and why spend another $100 on a newer one when he can just play with it and have fun with it?
Well, they're not cheap. My godsons, we were looking at the Lego Falcon, and it was £700. So that's like nearly $1,000. And I'm like, even they knew it was silly money. They were like, it's too much. I'm like, yeah, it's too much. It's like I could fly to Lucasfilm and see one being built maybe for that sort of money. But yeah, it keeps it special, maybe.
Right. Yeah. Okay. I'll let you go. Like I said, everybody check out Watching Skies. It's like I said, I had a chance. I'm going to actually, we're going to give away a copy too on Twitter. So.
Oh, good. Yeah. No. Good plan. Yeah. Good.
Yeah, we got one. So we'll keep y'all on the Kenner Toys on Twitter. We're going to give away one there. I'm probably going to do a review after I read it also. So check that out.
I do want to hear an American, like someone from that era as well. So that'd be cool to hear what sort of American Sky kids. Like, you're a Sky kid. I'm a Sky kid. So I want to hear what you guys think.
Yeah, that'd be curious. Anybody who's watching this in the comments, let us know in the comments too what you think about it or some of your memories. If maybe you're not from the UK or not from America, I'd love to see everybody's take on it. You know, I talked to a guy from Brazil about his take on it one time. And I was like, man, that's just, I didn't even think as a kid somebody in Brazil was playing with Star Wars toys.
Well, one of the things Palatoy used to do, I don't know if Kenner did this, but we would get the boxes and they would have like French writing. So it'd be Le Retour, it's like here actually, one of the old posters. It'd be whatever French for Return of the Jedi was, and they wouldn't even change the boxes. So we'd open up our French Millennium Falcon. It'd be the same toy, but the boxing and the packaging there was always a European angle to it as well. So yeah, there are other countries. Yeah, there are other people that Star Wars outside of the UK and the US. Who knew? Yeah. Yeah,
as a kid, you thought it was just your street, just your neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Well, it was good talking to you, and hopefully we'll talk again, and hopefully the book will do really good for you. Maybe we'll get a part 2.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, we'll do Ewok movies. That's what everyone's waiting for.
Yeah, and the holiday special.
Movies. Yeah, the real episodes 7 and 8.
There you go. Okay, thanks for talking to me.
No worries. Cheers. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for that unsolicited testimony.